Hey folks, it's Tuesday, the 5th of July. I'll say hello. That's pretty much what I have in mind, is just to say hello. Um, um, Not much, well, there's always music to talk about, but in reality, what's going on with me is surviving the 4th. How are you all doing after your 4th of July night? Here in Omaha, for me, it was horrible. I like fireworks like most people. I liked the big displays, but as I've gotten older, the neighborhood noise is just, it's maddening. Um, these bombs that people buy, they sound like bombs and they shake the house. I'm not the only one. And I had some damage, not this year, but was it last year? I had a ceramic vase shook off a shelf and broken from an explosion. So I'm glad that the 4th is over. And of course, I have to say something about Highland Park. I have a lot of friends in Chicago and in the area. So far, no one I know personally was affected, but it still affects me personally, like all of us, that just all the time the fabric of our country is just being ripped apart, and that we have these camps who every time something goes wrong, all they do is point fingers and blame and just make things worse by avoiding, to me, the true issue. Trying to say the problem is mental illness, the problem is this, the problem is that. I'm saying we're avoiding it. Our society is sick. The focus of what we're living and working towards is wrong. And this is what we get as a result, and we just keep trying to act like it's just, well, this is just the way it is. Well, it is just the way it is. Kind of sad, isn't it? And then it just goes without saying that I, as a person with this kind of skin color, I can't help but notice how it just keeps still happening. Someone of my color gets, has a traffic, even if he ran from them, but 60 times one man shot. And I just watched the footage, and it's like those cops were out of their minds. It's like they were in a frenzy to get that nigga, get him, shoot him dead. It's insane, people. There's no justification for it. I don't want to hear nothing about, well, if he had done this, if he had done that. Well, the mass shooter in Highland, he fled the cops. They didn't shoot it. Not one bullet. I don't want to hear it. This shit keeps happening, okay? If you don't know it from this perspective, I don't want to hear from you because you don't know. I'll stop in a minute. Of course, again, I just tell you, it's my channel, so if you don't like it, turn it off. Good friend of mine who I don't see very often, Frank, stopped by yesterday because he and his wife had been out of town for the month of June. So he came by with a birthday present, and we hung out and listened to music, the new Porcupine Tree. We're both big Porcupine Tree fans. But he's white, he's Italian, and, we talked about this stuff, and he says, I try to empathize, but no, I don't know. I don't know how you feel, Dereck. I have to admit, I can't fathom what it must be like for you to actually be concerned that a traffic stop might end your life, no matter what you do. This is where we're at, people. So, besides still freaking out on Meshuggah, and I really like this new album, and yes, they've found some ways to keep diversifying their approach. I'm also noticing, as I listen to check out other bands and new stuff, how the Meshuggah approach is changing the sound of some metal music. The deep heaviness and the attention to riffs and drumming, super tightness. I noticed it in watching the latest videos by the band Veil of Maya. I happened to see them several years ago opening for someone, I forget who. They were good, but not good enough for me to, not what I like. But I noticed in these new songs that they've moved into Meshuggah territory, and to good effect. You know, I noticed when I saw them, Veil of Maya, good band. They were good. So Meshuggah is affecting things. They're changing things. I put away what I played with Frank. He brought some records by. He was out on the West Coast, so he was able to find some stuff some Dereck column on vinyl. That stuff never ends up in Omaha hardly, so it was great to be able to spin it. But besides the stuff that he brought and what I put away, this is something I played yesterday. I was playing Meshuggah really loud because of fireworks, and then I put this on just angry because I can't listen, on the 4th. And this worked. Alors, Michel Porter, John Sermon, Barry Phillips, Stu Martin, Jean-Pierre Jouet, jazz, a mixture of composition and free and some hard blowing. This is good. They mix it up on here and it gets kind of frenzied in part. And it worked, besides the Meshuggah, it worked to upset the sound of the fireworks. I really like this label, Souffle Incontenu. I understand that the label was started primarily to re-release recordings that were released on the Futura or Future label out of France. Very collectible label. I don't have anything originally on that label. Really hard to find. Most of what I have picked up on the Souffle Continu has been awesome. So that really worked well. So the only other thing on my plate today is to try and get some physical copies of the new Omaha magazine for me, for my collection. One for Randy, good friend in Pittsburgh, but a super fan of mine as well. He just loves my music. And maybe to make available to some other people who might want a copy. It's really hot and humid here today. Almost to dangerously so. So I'm just trying to keep it chill. I got the air off right now while I'm making the video. About to turn it on as soon as I get done here. And I love hearing from you folks. I do. We need to speak up intelligently and let it be known that a wave of stupidity and selfishness has swept over this land for I don't know how long now, but the effect of it is horrid, and there's no point in, I say, I'm not playing the game. I'm calling it out. It's like, no, it's not about fairness that everybody gets a chance to say what they have to say. There's an old saying, I think it's ascribed to Plato. A wise person speaks because they have something to say. A fool speaks because he has to say something. Get it? That's what we're dealing with. A whole lot of people with their mouths open, empty brains, empty hearts. It's not okay. And we need to fix it. And that requires all good-hearted people to get involved. like the doctors and stuff who, in the mass shooting yesterday, decided instead of running for cover that they would turn around and go back and help. We need each other. That's where I'm at today, people. Let me know your thoughts. I appreciate them. Hello, family. Love you all. Love you all. Looking forward to having Floyd on the Zoom on Thursday. Take care, y'all.